did Fanatics start? How did that whole start with you, brother?
Sometimes you just get a little bit lucky. I started in the e-commerce business in the late 90s, and we were in the sporting goods business. We worked with retailers like Dick's Sporting Goods, the Sports Authority, and they sold a lot of licensed sports merchandise. And so we started to carry merchandise from the NFL and the NBA. And what we realized was that there were so many fans that lived in different markets from the team that they were a fan of, and they couldn't find that merchandise.
Sure.
And so licensed sports for us did great all the way back from 1998, 1999. And then we started working with the different sports leagues. And between 2002, 2007, the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL gave us really their e-commerce rights to operate. And we've built that into a pretty big business. I bought the company back from eBay in 2011. It was a little bit less than a $250 million company the previous year. And now Fanatics will be over $3 billion in revenue next year and is growing very quickly.
So how did it start? Like literally you woke up one day, you and some buddies or something? What
happened? The
happened?
great story of how it started was I knew nothing about e-commerce. I mean, nothing. I was like an early entrepreneur that sold footwear, and someone called me on Black Friday in 1998 and said, "What are you doing about this internet thing?" I'm like, screw the internet. It's all these these young kids. They just know how to drive revenue. They don't actually know how to make money. I don't want any part of it. And I hung up on the guy. And he called me back like a few hours later. He's like, "Michael, you should really think about this e-commerce thing."
Right.
I didn't want to think about it, but then I started thinking about it. I did what any entrepreneur would do. I called the owners of the biggest sporting goods retailers like Dick's Sporting Goods and Sports Authority at that point and Modell Sporting Goods.
You mean you just cold called them? Like,
well,
hey,
I was in business with them in my old company because I bought and sold different athletic footwear closeouts and different ski closeouts. So I knew all these retailers. I said, "Hey, what are you doing about this e-commerce thing?" And everyone said the same thing to me. They said, "Look, we don't really understand e-commerce, but our board of directors are asking us lots of questions. And you know what? If you have any ideas, please bring it to us because you're young and maybe you can figure it out." So in 1998, I reinvented my company. I got 5 of the top 10 largest sporting goods retailers to give me their e-commerce rights over a long period of time to run their e-commerce business. And that's how we started. And I knew nothing. I just started hiring people, raising capital, and I figured it out. And that company, we built GSI Commerce, got sold to eBay in 2011 for $2.4 billion.
So what was the conversation with eBay when you went in to say, I'm buying it back, or I want to buy it back?
Well, what eBay bought from us was the overall business, which was the biggest really partner to big retailers and brands to run their e-commerce business. And they didn't want to be in the licensed sports business or own inventory. So when they bought our company in 2011, they bought it because they wanted to partner with Ralph Lauren and Estee Lauder and Toys R Us to have those big retailers work in the eBay marketplace.
Right.
And they came to us right away and said, "Hey, we don't want to own this business because it owns inventory. Would you like to buy it back?" And I was a huge believer in what the sports license business could be. And I really thought we were just getting started. And to be honest, I had a lot of ideas about how we could completely reinvent the model in 2011. So the business that we bought in 2011, Fanatics, is nothing really to what it is today. We completely reinvented the model.
So what's the one item that you think sells the best in any of the sports across?
Jerseys, without question.
Period.
Yeah, and you know what? And today, you know what it is? It's a new quarterback in New York City who's outselling every player on our platform.
Darnold? Jones?
Daniel Jones. Number one selling jersey yesterday.
Is that because of yesterday?
Yes.
Because he was
that's what makes sports
starter?
great. That's what, the great thing about our business is there's always change. And, somebody does great, somebody else gets hurt, new player emerges, team gets cold, team gets hot. And that's the change that makes our business so unique and why it's tailor-made for the internet, because we've built a supply chain that can always have what the fan wants at any time. And would you have ever thought a week ago he'd be the number one selling jersey?
No, I mean, no.
And by the way, I would have thought about it until I read about it this morning. So,
right.
But we built our entire platform to have a complete supply chain that makes sure that whatever a fan wants, colorway, team, men, women's, kids, whatever you want. We have millions of different products, and we have a supply chain that kind of manufactures on demand. That allows us to really satisfy whatever a sports fan wants.
So do you get Michael Rubin of, again, Fanatics and the Sixers and the Devils, Reform Alliance, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Do you get inundated with calls when Antonio Brown's Raiders jersey never gets used in a game?
We get calls for everything. So
sure.
Absolutely. And we actually have a policy where we have policies to really, like in the NBA, we have an insurance policy with American Express where if your player gets traded or waived, you can actually get a new jersey.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's actually a great idea that American Express came up with that we do specifically for the NBA. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of movement in sports. So, if you think about the NBA's roster this year and how much movement, the free agency movement there was,
right.
That certainly drives tremendous jersey sales. Last year it was all about LeBron James driving jersey sales. This year, think about
Kawhi.
There's so many, from Kawhi to Kevin Durant to Kyrie. I mean, there's tremendous movement. That and in all of our businesses, certainly the NFL bigger than any, that drives the business.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.